is. Like, you know, like the young people today, they take a selfie to get selfie. That cracks me up. So that you say selfie, never be ready. So hello everybody. Everybody. You can truly love with somebody, but you gotta have a partner. There's the thing right here. She need a partner. Alita, right there in front of you. So to start off, let's see. I know everybody in town. I don't really know you. I don't know you too, but I know everybody else in here. So I'll just tell you briefly, because all the rest of them, they know who I am and what I'm up to. But any of you guys ever had the experience where you're going through life and you're doing your thing and then God touched you? And then the thing that you was doing, you can't do that no more, you got God tell you to do? Okay, that's right here. Right, that's how they got here. Like, my mama passed away, and I couldn't be with the grief, so I just didn't do it. But 4 years later, I lost all my power, because I didn't understand I was connected to my mom like an extension cord. My mama had all the power. I was just walking around like I was all that. But when my mom disconnected, right, for 4 years, I still had power. That's how powerful she was. But 4 years later, I started losing power. And I couldn't figure out why I was losing power. And by the time I figured it out, I was toxic. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically, I was losing everything. And so it sent me on a journey. In that journey, I heard God say, I want you to be a minister. Well, trying to stay from who I am. Because who I knew myself in BT, before God. Who I knew myself as was, I'm going to shake a campus finger, I can face that. That's who I was. But God was like, okay, I'll let you do all that, do your thing. Now it's my turn, and you gotta follow me. But when I heard, I want you to be a minister, so far from who I thought I was, I called my best friend up, I'm like, something going wrong. Like, I think I heard, be a minister. She was like, I'll be right over. That's how far it was. I'm a Buddhist. I've been a Buddhist almost 50 years. So I really learned from being a minister. I'm an interfaith minister. I studied all the religions. I really found out that they're really all the same. They're all saying the same thing, basically, if you read them all. And the things that they're all saying, the same, that's the truth. Well, what's that? Love, peace, joy, happiness, leadership, service, angels. All the religions got angels, right? So those things that they're saying, that's the same, that's the truth. When they start to veer up and do their thing, that's man. So that's how I started off, became a minister, and but my mind, I couldn't get my mind right? And because I'm a thinker. But my system had broke down. You know how when they talk about the system, they go mind, body, spirit, those three things are always together because it's a system. So I had a complete system breakdown, you know, but I'm a Black woman, I'm strong. I ain't going to see no therapist, I ain't going to get no help out. Y'all Black women, y'all looking at me, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So I started doing the work. So work immediately on spiritual, my grounding, so I went spiritual first. Then I worked on my emotions, because I didn't know how my emotions work. I didn't know you had 4 major emotions, right? Love, anger, fear, and sadness, right? And when one of them is in place, what you need to do to snap out of it. You know, mostly when we're in something, we just rat it out. Yeah, rat it out. It'll keep going. It'll get past, right? That kind of thing. But in actually learning how those 4 emotions work, it helped me. But the thing about the emotions was, inside the conversation of being with God, I hope this up so you can hear. The thing that I wanted to know that I was asking the universe was how come I was not a millionaire? I know I got the DNA code for millionaire, but that's not what was happening out here. So I started asking about that. So how come I'm not a millionaire? Well, that's when the journey, and then the journey started moving, right? And years later, because in attracting, at that time, the secret came out, everybody started talking about attracting and attracting. But the thing that we didn't know about attracting, if your emotions are toxic or if your emotions are out of balance, you cannot attract to you what you want. And guess what? Now you gotta tell the truth. Because most of us who we are, we hide how we really feel. We are not clear to go, you know, okay, we're gonna go, hey, I forgot I was in church. Gotta remember. I'm in church. I didn't get that room called no cousin. I'm gonna make that up, and now they want everybody to follow. I don't follow a rule just because you made it up. I'm not that girl. But you made up a rule, and everybody agreed to follow it. If it don't resonate with me, I'll be doing it. But I'll be respectful for where I am. So anyway, so the thing about your emotions is that you gotta have your emotions. When you look at most people of African American persuasion, our emotions are mostly goes out of whack. Right? Don't look at me the wrong way. Right? Please don't roll your eyes at me. Who's talking to me? Oh, no, you didn't step on my shoes. Don't disrespect me. All of that stuff. So those are the things that I had to really work with. And plus, once I really saw that my emotions were not attractive, I really got easy about that. But as I did the work, it was mental. Mentally, I was very negative and thinking the same negative stuff over and over and over and over again. Right? Like one day I sat down and thought, okay, I'm gonna pay attention to what most people don't pay attention to what we're thinking. So this particular day, I'm gonna pay attention to what I'm thinking. And I just noticed negative, okay, positive. So the next day I'm gonna police it. Right? But you can't police your thoughts. I'm just telling you that now. I'm sorry. Can't police them. So many of them coming really fast. So that day I was it's like, okay, you can go. You gotta go back. Okay, you can go forward. Okay. And so I did that. Right. It was like that. So I was like, I had to get that up. But out of the whole thing, I did the mental work, got myself positive thinking, did the emotional work, I handled my emotions, my sadness, my anger. My anger was the main thing. Anybody got anger? Was your main thing? Yeah, anger. It's up there. Yeah, it's yeah, thank you for admitting it. So I'll balance that out. Like I'm over here because we angry. Right? We got black people got PSTD or whatever that was called. We got what's it called? PTSD. Most of us got PTSD and don't even know it. Right? It's like real. It's really real. And so in handling that, what I really saw was the last realm is the physical realm. And the physical realm is the most difficult to manifest. Because it's hard, it's dense. Spirit, mental, emotional, it's in the ethers. You know, you agree with that, it's moving, right? But when you're trying to focus on something and pull something down from the ether, and by the time it comes through, it's hard, it takes a little more something. So that's the realm I'm working on now. I'm working on the physical realm. But it's inside of wealth consciousness, right? Because one of my assignments was to read the Bible. And one of the things, well, this is not a good thing, but one of the things I saw reading the Bible, because I went to talk to my Christian friends, because I didn't really have that learning, and none of them really read the Bible. They've got a lot of quotes. They got a lot of quotes. You got a Bible, they give you a quote. You got a Deuteronomy 2:16, Psalm 6:21. But they gave me no process, no practices to use to get me out of something. Just because you give me a quote, okay, now what I do. So in my journey, what I found out is that it's a mind, body, spirit system. And in that system, if you got a problem and it's on the spiritual realm, but you're trying to handle it on the physical realm, that's like having a headache, but you're gonna put the Band-Aid on the knee. You got the issue in the spiritual realm, right? But you're trying to work it out on the physical realm, you're gonna do it. So you have to really get that it's a system, and you have to know where in your system you're having a breakdown. Is it emotional? Is it mental? Is it spiritual? Is it on the physical realm? So you got to identify where you're at. That's the most critical. So out of doing this work, God has given me 3 places to come from. I'm about to tell y'all this right now. I had a whole thing I was going to talk about, but spirit is taking over, so we're about to talk about what spirit wants to talk about. Okay, good. So inside of dealing with the whole system and how the system works, what God showed me is this. And it's like a pyramid. At the top of the pyramid are the spiritual laws. That's at the top of the pyramid. The spiritual laws. What are the spiritual laws? God can lay them down, right? The spiritual laws are one of them for sure is cause and effect. What you put out is what you get back. You reap what you sow. That's the law, period, right? There's other laws. Ask and it is given. That's the law. But you got to know how to approach God, number one, right? Not like Santa Claus, right? So there's so many laws. So you have to know what the spiritual laws are. But not only what the spiritual laws are, what's the process to get you aligned with the spiritual law, and then what the practice is to put that law in place. Okay, so that's a whole study within itself, right? Because you got the law of being enthusiastic. You got, and most people are not enthusiastic. Y'all understand? You can't even know how to get people to smile at you. Try tomorrow, just start smiling and people saying, "Ah, they'll think something wrong with you." So we out of line right there, right? So, you know, and there's lots of things, lots of laws, right? But I'm going right now, so I got to keep going down, look up the laws for yourself, okay? Then, after the spiritual laws, there's this word that I learned from the courses that I did, and the word is ontology. If you look at the word ontology means the art and science of who you are being in life. Art and science of who you are being. Right? Well, what does that mean? Well, spiritually, it means this. God is the supreme being. Yeah? Okay, God is the, but who you being? Girlfriend laying over there right now, when she came in, I was like, oh, what's wrong? She like, I'm tired. Access to ontology is through language, right? How y'all know this is the truth is in the beginning there was what? What you say is what you get. If you say you're tired, what you get. If you say you broke, what you get. If you say you're sick, what you get. If you say you lack anything, what you get. Okay, I'm about to preach off of it. I'm just kidding. But that's the deal, right? Whatever you say, that's what you get. So as the man thinking, so is he. What you speak about, you bring about. Okay, that's the law, right? So language is important. Right? And what you're saying, because what you're saying, I'm a coach. I coach spiritually and I coach other ways. But what you're saying tells me who you're being, right? If you say, I don't know, I just didn't have any power to that, well, you walk around being positive, that lets you know where you have a loss of energy and who you're being. Because one of the laws of God, the truth about God is God said you are powerful. God says you are unlimited. God said you are unlimited. Unlimited. Okay, hello? You know, when I started reading the Bible, Jesus said, you will do even greater things than me. I was like, okay, so probably right here, I see nobody walk on water. I see nobody turn no wine into wine. Okay, what we doing? Somewhere we're missing the point, because if he says that's what's so, that's what's so, and I'm not experiencing that in my life. So I keep seeking, right? So the last piece of it, which is what I'm interested in inside of wealth consciousness, is manifestation. How do I say I want a beautiful house and can close my eyes and focus on it and that will show up? I mean, I know a couple people in need a car. And okay, and how long do you need the car? Because it's saying, and you got that faith of a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. Okay, well, now this is something. This is something. So now I'm interested in what is that I'm missing that's keeping that from manifesting in my life. That's what I got interested in. Right? If God said I am unlimited and everything my Father has is mine, some, is that posted for other people? Right, is that, okay, I need some feedback, but y'all don't understand. What are you guys saying, period? And what I'm saying, is it like that for you? Is it not like that for you? Say no, how is it for you? Red or white now? Like that, when you see something that you want, and you never have to before, yes, okay, okay. Okay. For sure. Okay, good. So that, what I'm saying don't apply to you.
Well, I agree with some of the things.
Okay.
I agree with some of the things you are saying,
Okay.
but to ask is, well, see, I'm one that I believe I have faith, and I know, because I've had manifestation,
Yes.
that if I speak the word, believe the word, trust the word, and do the action. You said that earlier.
Yeah.
There is a process. You know, you look at something you need, and it's not immediate.
Yes.
You have to work the process.
Okay.
And as you work the process and stay in your position in that process, you can receive the manifestation. And let me add this real quick. First of all, it has to be a manifestation that he wants for you. Yeah, well, it's not want for you. They can be ask for things, but a lot of times we ask for them in the midst.
Yes.
So yeah, it's up to him.
Okay, yes. Okay, so that's great, I'm glad you took me there. Because how do you get to, how is part of the process? The learn to get to that, is I ask Holy Spirit about everything. That's my higher realm that I'm dealing with. Holy Spirit, because Holy Spirit is my access to God. Right, so I asked Holy Spirit, what you like, connection? Okay, what you want to eat today? It was like, I want pancakes. We got pancakes. Right? I asked, should I participate in this or not? Yes or no? No, then I don't participate in that. If it's a yes, I go full to a boogie for it. Right? But I'm asking the Holy Spirit to guide me, lead me, teach me in everything. Right? Important point. Because the biggest thing for reading the Course of Miracles, so that I am a facilitator teacher of the Course of Miracles, we only deal with two things. Love and fear. Which is I had a problem in the Bible about fear, because I went and talked to my friends about it, my Christian friends, who really Christian, right? Okay, so if love and fear cannot live in the same space. But in the Bible, for me, they talk about fear a lot, fear God. So when you tell me to fear God, I'm gonna back up, because I gotta be scared. Because if I do something wrong, it's not gonna go well for me, I'll be punished. Right? So, and when they will say fear God, well, I don't want to fear God, because at the next point they tell me God is my best friend. Well, I'm scared of you. So if I need to talk to you, like my daddy, if I did something wrong, I ain't trying to run up to my daddy and go, oh daddy, did something wrong. They may tell you all about it. I died. No, I'm gonna try to hide it, fix it, and then when I fix it a little bit, then I'm gonna talk to God about it. Right, that's how I operate. You have to check in for yourself to see how you operate it. Because I don't care who you are, if I'm scared of you, I'm not so open and willing to come and talk to you, right? However, I'm into words. So my parents was like, oh, they don't need fear like that. They need fear like awe and wonder. Reverence, thank you, reverence. Okay, so I'm gonna go look it up. So I'm gonna look up the word fear, and you can do it for yourself. What's there? In the dictionary, the first word is the most important word, and then it goes all the way down. Yeah. Okay. First word, fear, scared. Okay. Second word, terror. Okay. Third word, horrified. Okay. Fourth word, awe and reverence. Okay, so I'm done. But what I did for myself, I'm reading the Bible. Every time I would come to fear, I would cross it out and go awe, or reverence, or awe, or just reverence. Oh man, it would make me feel so good to say that instead of fear. Because you tell me words, your words give your world. What you speak is what you create. If I say fear, if I say awe, if I say reverence, and keep that. Right, so that's what I got from you. right? So, but I just want to hear, like you guys really hearing that for yourself. And what I'm saying, it's not that I'm against Christianity or anything, because that's people's path. But I'm telling you that there's another path that'll keep us from being trapped in our own mind. Because that's what I'm about, freeing my mind. And one of the big things, when I got to Matthew got very interesting for me, because I saw that a lot of the principles of who we need to be are in Matthew. But I'm like, these are simple. How come we're not following them? Right? Because Matthew got all the, if God will take care of the birds and the bees, you'll know he'll take care of you. Okay, so we know that. But how many people have the experience of not being cared for and not being taken care of? Because it's there, right? How many times you've been worried of how you gonna get to the next thing, or what your life gonna be like, or what next week gonna be like? Am I gonna have money? Am I gonna okay, but if you take, so because one of the things I learned was, if you want to know about God, look at nature. I ain't never seen a homeless squirrel. Squirrel fat as heck. You ever see the bird with a backpack saying I ain't got nowhere to live and I don't know what to do? But I said, look at nature. I'm like, now I know if God takes care of the animals, he'll take care of me. Right? So then the other thing I had to know, then why am I worrying about that? Okay, but how many of you, we know not to worry, but we worry anyway? Okay, so here God take me again. I said, okay, let me look at prayer, because I know I can pray and things happen. So I was toxic, but God wanted me to learn, right? So I could teach others, right? So when I said, okay, how did I learn how to pray? I learned how to pray by watching my mother pray. We go to church, everybody in church all the time. We all go to the altar, we all get on their knees, and we pray for whatever we wanted. They didn't ever give me the specific way to pray, right? So I'm like, okay, let's read. So I started reading about prayer. And one of the biggest things that shift all my prayers is worrying. To worry is to pray in reverse. I don't worry anymore. Because that's why would I do all this work to forward my thinking, to open my heart, and then worry and eat it all up. One of the things that I went through is we have an inner critic. Anybody ever heard of an inner critic? Yeah, you have an inner critic that when you go to say you're about to go get me a new job, you go get a new job. Who gonna hire you? Oh, you think you're gonna pick that much money? Yeah, hear the inner critic. So one of the things that I had to deal with was how to calm the inner critic. I want you to pay attention. Whenever you go to do something or want to accomplish something, the inner critic is right here. One of the processes and practices you're going to have to learn is how to shut it down. How to shut down the inner critic. And that's really an important piece, because out here, as you go up higher, the negative things that want to pull you down will say, you've heard of crab basket. As you go higher, the negative tendencies want to pull you back down to keep you in control, of you. Okay, I call it ego. You have to learn about the ego. Course in Miracles says it's vicious, specific, vicious, suspicious, and malicious. Y'all know some of the people? Okay, sitting y'all. That's the other thing. Shakshika says, sitting in her own seat. That's one of the things I discovered. The inner me was the enemy. Ain't nobody out there. The inner me, what I was saying to myself, was the biggest problem. Right? So, I gotta check in, we want to go now. So those are the things that got me into the ministry. That's the work that I'm doing. Really learning how to manifest and teach others how to manifest. Like on my own, I can run my life. I know how to run my life. I'm powerful. I have a strong black mama. She taught me that. But in this game, doing it alone will not work. This game is when two or more are gathered in my name. So that's why God has given me people to come around me so that we can play this game together. Because in playing together, the game together, we actually grow exponentially. And it's not coming from, you got to do your dues, do your paperwork and your wealth consciousness stuff. I mean, as far as, building generational wealth, you have to do that work. But our access is who are you being? Are you being happy? Are you being joyful? Are you being enthusiastic? Are you being unlimited? And I didn't have nothing. But what God showed me was I couldn't walk around, life is a mess. What I had to learn was I had a circumstance. I had a situation, but that wasn't who I was. I still was a child of God, perfect, whole, and complete. And every day, walk in my power. And every day, I walk in my power. So this kind of experience that I had is called, this like Exodus, like in the Israelites getting kicked out of Egypt. They went into the wilderness. So it's a wilderness experience. You lose everything. You don't know which way to go. You don't know what to do. It's a wilderness experience. So I was in it for 2 years before I went to church, and this particular minister, she's a teacher, she stood up that day and she said, some of y'all in the wilderness, lost everything, you don't know which way to go, you don't know what to do. It's called a wilderness experience. I was like, oh, I'm having that. And then she went on to explain, and you don't have to have a wilderness experience in your whole life, like I experienced, but you can have a wilderness experience in a particular area of your life, right? You can have a wilderness experience in relationships. You can have a wilderness experience in your finances. You can have a wilderness experience in your homelessness, right? Anybody in here having some wilderness experience? Go ahead. Okay, which one you have? Which wilderness experience? Okay, come on.
In 1 year, I ended up losing my home. My husband lost his business. We lost his job. I was scared for him. He lost his job. He lost his business. Again, we lost the home. We ended up losing a church. It was a lot of that's a and even in that, my husband almost died.
Yeah, so that's okay. Okay, good. Anybody have an experience where it's just in one area, they can't sing to get the
wilderness experience in a relationship, a separation from my ex-husband.
Okay, in relationship, anybody have wilderness in relationships? Okay, all right, good. So but this is the part that I learned about that. There's 5 points, but I had to take on 2. The first one was have a great attitude. Whenever your wilderness experience or having, you got to have a great attitude about it. Because what I'm finding out, most of our issues and problems that we're having them because we have to heal them to make them whole. Those are aspects of ourselves that are fragmented. So we're having that experience so that we can heal and make it whole. Most of us, particularly, well, I say men and women, we suppress it. We don't let it out. We don't share it. And then it stays down there long enough and it festers into something else that's even worse because you don't allow yourself to deal with it, heal it, and make it whole. And mostly it's forgive it. Forgive yourself if it's you that did something, or forgive someone else if it's them that did something. So, but forgiveness mostly is for yourself, right? So it's in the wilderness experience. So you got to find out if you're having one, that what you have to understand about it so you can have a great attitude is this. Where are you headed? When the people in the wilderness were in the wilderness, where were they headed? They were headed to the land of milk and honey. They were headed to the promised land. But once I got that, and whatever wilderness experience you may have, if you already know where you're headed, you can step up into it. Once I knew what I was having, I could step to it, right? And the part that's even deeper about that, my situation has changed, but it hasn't really changed. The last year, God opened up the way for me to go to Egypt. And I went to Egypt last year. I was deep out of my mind because I'm like, oh my God, I done made it to the promised land. Wait, so it's Africa hot over there too. So like this heat in here, I can take it because Africa is like way past this, right? So, but in going there, God showed me like what the whole thing is about. Like I don't care what God showed me by going to Africa was it's written on the walls. The Egyptians already gave us the answers written on the walls. Whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're going through, is already done. What? I'm going through all this and it's already done. Okay, wait a minute. It was like a trick, right? It's like it's already done. Well, if it's already done, all I gotta do is listen and follow. We'll listen and follow. Get in touch, be still and know that I am. And when you be still, listen for your guidance. It's taking you right where you gotta go. And we don't even realize because mostly we're resisting. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. It's devastating. Well, I'm gonna get out of it. No, well, that's why I don't talk that way anymore. But it's like you have to listen and follow. So that was the first thing, know where you're headed, right? We came on earth. This is our earth suit. We came on earth to get back to the light. That's what we're here for. To create our life as light and love. And anything that ain't light and love is God God. And how do you gotta go? You can't, I'm not talking to them, they too negative. No, you the light. If you the light, you the light, you the light, everybody in here the light. But what we gonna do? Take all the negative people and put them in one room? And we're the light, right? So if we don't like, what we gotta do is bring light to the situation. I don't have to leave them. I can send them love and light. God said to extend. He didn't say take from. Don't give them none. Because guess what? Even the people that I didn't want to forgive, when I start saying, oh God, you know what they did to me, and God said to me, they still not true. Oh. I was like, I ain't mad with them. But if God ain't mad at the people who I think did something wrong, I'm gonna be mad at them. That's a waste of my time. Right? So I'm not doing that anymore. I just send them love and light and peace. Keep on peace over here. Because that's the next thing. We have to have peace. God cannot land in your chaos. God cannot land in your confusion. God cannot land in your doubt. God cannot land in your judgment. God cannot land in your condemnation. Coming through you. So if you want to have a download of God, you must be at peace in your mind, your heart, your spirit, and your soul. Okay. That's what I got to say. What y'all got to say? Amen. Okay, good. We'll stop. Okay, we'll stop. That is it right there. We'll stop. Because that's how you get it. So this was miraculous for me about the peace. When you got people passing in your family, people get crazy, right? So my dad was dead that way. My brothers and them, they was crazy. They were so mad. Oh my God, I've never been there so mad. I could have been through this mic. That's how mad I was. And I couldn't sleep, and I had a lot to do the next day. And I got up and how I use books, and I just opened it up, and my answer was always there. There's this one quote in the Bible, somebody might know it. All I remember is you must be slow to anger. So slow, so that's how I got to sleep. I just kept going. Slow to anger. And I kept my calm down. Skipping slow. Slow. And when I got on the bus to go to my dad, I was really, really upset. And I just started breathing in peace. Breathe out chaos. Breathe in peace. Breathe out chaos. And after a while, peace came over me that was so deep and so profound. I went, that's how Jesus did that. That's how Jesus did that. The anger, he just breathed in peace. But guess what? And where you know he did it at in the Bible is when he was asleep in his peace. And they're like, we moved to Jerusalem. And Jesus woke up because guess what? It was the water. What does water represent? Your emotions. Water is emotion. And he stood out there and calmed them with his calm emotions. So when your emotions, and you can't calm yourself, breathe in peace. It quells the emotion. Quells your emotion. Anytime you get angry, breathe in peace. Breathe out the negativity. Breathe in peace. Breathe it. It'll calm you right down. So that's the part of the Bible I want to know. Like the process. Like when I'm in those kind of states, or those kind of states are around me, that I can use the principle. If something's going on, there's a light worker, I can go, I need the angels to come over here and figure that confusion out for me, because I'm not trying to get a sympathy. I use the angels. That's why God gave it to you. If you really understand the angels, God sent the angels down here to help us. Everybody in here was given an individual angel on their birthday. But the thing is, nobody in here really, unless you know, some people know, people don't even use their angels. So all you guys got angels around you, but your angels are playing big with, your angels are playing checkers. Your angels are looking at a little TV right there. But you don't give them anything to do. Give your angels something to do. My angels have lots of tasks. They find my keys. They give me parking spots up front. I use my angels, they calm people down in front of me, because I just call it. When I see their name on the phone, I ask the angels and the Holy Spirit to come forth with me in this conversation. Right? I use them. If you use them, they will show you that they are at work in your life. Okay, guys, any questions? Any questions? I'm sorry.
How can we get in touch with you beyond this?
Beyond this, I'm gonna tell you. Like, where's she not in here? Girl, they've been trying to get me the TikTok. They've been trying to get me the Instagram. Wait a minute. There, I got there, okay. And I'm on the other ones, but because the conversation I'm having is a personal, specialized conversation. I ain't trying to talk to you. If you ain't for real about some of these people in my class, they know I ain't playing. I ain't playing about God, and I ain't playing about us being the best that we can be, because I know that's all that's over there. And so who I am as a coach, I'm taking and erasing out everything that ain't of God we've done. We're not doing that. So how you reach me is, call me. I'll give you my number. You can call me. That was the one thing I needed to have on the board, but you got something to write with right quick. Put it in your phone. Okay, yeah, you can put it in your phone. And every Thursday on Grand Rising Elizabeth, I'm on there. I'm starting to teach the principals. We teach class every day of the week, Monday through Friday. My day is on Thursdays, and I'm talking about all things God. That's what I'm talking about. Prayer, we're about to take on prayer. God just sent it to me. If we pray in a group, something can happen. Today, me and Nicole, we drove in together. We drove through Highland Park. And some parts of Highland Park was sucked the life out of you. And it was like, you know what, we need to pray about this now, because it's ridiculous. And if all of us come together and pray about one specific thing, I'm clear that a change will be made in that area. And we're not doing that as a community. And that's going to be my community project. Like really coming together, use the principles of God to alter now what's happening over here, what's happening out there, because we don't get that what we see out there is an out picturing of what's over here. That's the part we don't get. What we see out there is an out picturing of what's going on over here, right? So Buddhism teaches it's not the land or the people that's impure. It's the minds of the people. So we clean up our mind and what we're thinking, get rid of our greed, our neediness, I had this, gotta have this, gotta have, because guess what about all that stuff you about to accumulate? You ain't taking none of it with you. That's how come I know, that's how come I know the body is nothing. You know how come I know the body is nothing? Because when you die, you leave it here. You're not taking your body with you, so when you hold and hold and hold and hold, that is not who your body is, not who you are. Yeah. So my number is 248-818-3261. We're doing it all over. Okay, good. And thank you guys for listening. So my number is 248-818-3261. I gotta do one more thing. Everybody get a partner. Sit by partner. Okay, and I want you to back and forth when Lois is there. Say to me first, who's gonna go first? Raise your hand in your group, who's gonna go first? And what I want you to do is go back and forth, starting with number one, about what you're grateful and thankful for. And we're gonna do that for 2 minutes. Just go back and forth, what you're grateful and thankful for in your life. Okay, go.
And I'm still not getting into my life.
I hope you all downstairs in the vending room, the marketplace, you should be sharing what you are grateful for downstairs. Because you want that flow, that gratefulness flowing right now in the midst downstairs, you know, finances, grateful. So you should be sharing with one another downstairs what you are grateful for.
My grandmother said, this is my grandma's inheritance. I mean, I don't understand what you think. We're not.
I just feel like being short and make that I talk about that. That's what I'm saying.
I know. That's about
Like, I refuse to. Tony, go. Thank my mom.
Well, no. Okay, everybody, my question is complete. Thank you and appreciate you. I love you. Okay. Okay, you. You should be a picture who look just like you.
Head to toe.
Head to toe, like, girl. I know. I know.
Like I don't even know.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't even know.
Let's give a round of applause as well to Reverend Lonnie. You learned something? Did you unveil something there?
But that's not
There you are. Yeah. All right, we're gonna be right back to prepare for, so. I wanna say this before Brother Ken, is he over there? Okay, he walked out. Before I bring him up, Reverend Amani has said, yes. Reverend Amani is talking about when we leave early. Ladies, right here. Reverend Amani was talking about when you leave early, you can't take your stuff with you. So Reverend Ken is gonna tell you how you can control it when you're gone. We're gonna take about 15-minute break and get set up.